Okay, so now we have the SDLC, which is the software development lifecycle. So we have four different phases in the SDLC. You can see four different phases. So let's assume like the first one is SDLC software design lifecycle, design, and then develop. And third one is the test. And let's fourth one will be the release. Okay, so now if you see here in design phase, what we will be going to have. So here we will have we can say project scope will be finalized here. And then here we will also discuss about the requirements gathering. Uh, requirements gathering. And then we have requirements elicitation. The difference between requirements gathering and elicitation is gathering is nothing but whatever the client or business is having the requirements, we are going to collect the requirements from the client. And then once you collected the requirements from the client, you are doing a groundwork like if there is a there is a certain requirement which is related to the insurance side. So if you don't have any uh, knowledge on the insurance domain. So you need to do some groundwork on what is insurance and what are the different types of insurance domains we have, and our business is related to which domain, and the requirement that what the client has given from other from business, and the requirements what we have collected in the requirements gathering phase. So you need to understand and you need to do some work understanding, do some background work in order to understand the requirement or in order to document this requirement. So that is called as a elicitation. Gathering is not, it's only collecting the requirements from the business. Elicitation is whatever the requirements that you have collected, you need to work on those requirements and you need to understand and convert them into a documentation manner. So once the requirements elicitation is done, then we will document the requirements. So we will document requirements, and then so yeah, so this is what we are going to do here. So what will be there in the development phase? So in the development phase, there will be having some technical documentation. So these need to be prepared by the developers or the architect people. So they are going to prepare the technical documents, which is something like SRS. I'll explain the what is SRS document in detail when we are moving to the next chapter. And then once they have the technical documents, so they will do for the uh, like whatever the language that that we are going to implement. So can we'll call it as it is a UI. What will be the UI design they are going to have, and then their coding. And before these uh, two things, we have one more thing which we'll be doing in the development phase is yeah, DB design. Let me put it as a DB design. So once see here, so this is the design phase. So where we will be working on the scope of the project and then the requirements gathering part. And then we will move to the requirements elicitation. And once the requirements elicitation is done, then we will prepare the documents such as like put me here the BRD/FRS documents. or sometimes we would also call it as a FRP, which is nothing but request for proposals. And we have the development phase as we So we will be having the technical documents which is prepared by the architects or tech lead team leads of the particular project. And then we will have the DB team who is going to design the database for the project that what we are working. And then we will be having the UI design, like what are the screens or what is the website that we are going to have and what are the different web pages that we need to have in our the application. And then they will start working on the coding. So for the coding, you can say like whatever it may be, like Java or .NET. And then, so here they have completed the coding. So now we will move to the third phase, which is called as a testing. So what usually here testing phase in what will happen. So based on the requirements, the documents that what you have prepared. So in the testing phase, so they will create the test suite. So test suite is nothing but the different type of test cases which will fall under into the same project. And then we have test suite is there, and then they will prepare the test plan and they will create the test cases based on the requirements that what we have prepared, and then they will produce the test results. Okay. And so in the testing phase, what the QA team will do here, let's put it as in here, QA team. And here in the development, I'm calling it as a dev team so that all the whoever may be working on the DB team and the UI design team, all will come under into the dev team phase. And now we have the release. So what we need to do, what we are going to have in the release phase. So you need to have the release document, which should be prepared by the project manager or the product owner. And then release, yeah, here you can say it as a release plan. And once the release plan is done, then they will have the release document. And we need to attach the whatever the approvals required for deploying the code in production environment. I'm putting it as a prod env. So what else? We have deployed the code into the production. So now the client or the business can able to access the project or the website. So if we have any issues or if they face any issues, something like the pages is not opening or there is some delay in generating the results. So if we have any such things, or say, for example, if you are going to come any new change requirement, which we call it as a change request. So all the CRs, so which will be providing, which will be handled by the team so that maintenance team. So here we will be call it as a maintenance so that this team will be working with will work with the business. Whatever the business is having any queries related to installation or if they need to deploy any code or if they need to, in order to work our project, they need to do some setup in their environment. So all these things will be handled by the support team where we also call it as a operations team. I'll put here. So release, which is operations team. So these team will be responsible for executing the database in the main servers, in the production servers, and whatever the access that the business users want to have. Like some users need to have the admin access, some users need to have the manager access, some users need to have the only uh, I think read-only access. So for that purpose, they need to raise some tickets and get some approvals, and then this operations team will provide the information that whatever their business is required. So now, if you see, yeah. So this is the SDLC lifecycle process. So we have the software design lifecycle where we will be having the design phase, development phase, and test phase, and the release or the maintenance phase. So in each phase, we discussed about, I think Saranya has just joined. Just Hi, Saranya. Saranya, can you able to view my screen?
Yes, yes, Naveen. Sorry, I got late. I was in a call,
Okay, fine, no
office call.
issues. Yeah, we just started discussing about the SDLC process, which is the software development lifecycle. So here we discussed about each phase in here. So we will be having the four different phases in the SDLC. The first one is the design phase. So in the design phase, these are all the activities that we need to happen. So we will be having the project scope defined in the design phase, and we will collect the requirements and we will do the requirements solicitation. And then we will prepare the requirements document, which are BRD and FRS and RFP. And once these requirements is done, then we will share these documents to the development team. So the dev team will prepare the technical documents and then they will work on the database design. And then once the database design is confirmed, then the UI team will work on the UI design part, and then the coding team will start implementing the functionality. And once the development phase is done, then we have the test phase. So where QA team will come into the picture. So they will create the test suite, they will prepare the test plan, and they will create the test cases, what need to be tested in the project or in the particular release that what we are planning. And for the year, whatever the test cases they have executed, they need to share the test results. So once this is done, then we have the released where we have the operations team will come into the picture. So where they need to have the release plan document, release plan, and then the release documents, and whatever the approvals that are required to deploy the code in the production environment. So all these need to be attached here. And then they will also be providing the maintenance, like whatever the access that the business users required, all these things. So this is about the SDLC life cycle. So now, if you move to, yeah, so we have the two different approaches, which one is the waterfall model, and then the second one is the agile methodology. So we will see in detail about each model. So just giving you an high introduction, like in the waterfall model. So we will be having all the actions or all the activities should be completed in a step-by-step process. Like first, we will be having the requirements phase. So once the requirements phase is done, then you will be moving into the design phase. So once the phase is done, then you will be moving into the implementation or the coding phase. And once the coding phase or the development is done, then it will be into the moved into the test phase, or it can also say the QA phase. And once the testing is done, then we will have the installation or the deployment process followed by maintenance team. So this is what the sequential process of the waterfall model. So where each stage will be moved into the next, I mean, each we will move into the next phase until the current phase that what you are working is going to be completed. When until and unless if the current phase is not completed, then you are not allowed to start working on to the develop. Say, for example, I have started working on the requirements phase. So when I say like when I'm working on the requirements phase, so I need to capture all the requirements of the project and I need to document all the requirements, and then I need to get the approvals on the requirements that I have prepared from the business. So till that, the design or the implementation team or the QA team, so they will sit ideal. I sit ideal in the sense they will not be assigned to the project. They might be working in some other projects. So once the requirement phase is done, then they will be allowed to start working on the design phase. So now the design team will work on all the things related to the design, like UI design, screens, or any um, what we can say like any CSS, any styles or any background designs, any animations or anything that related to design part. So once the design is completed, then the implementation or the coding team will come into the picture. So where they will write the logic, whether it may be .NET or Java or whatever it may be. So they will write the logic, and they once the logic is completed, then only they will be allowed into the project is being moved into the test phase. So this is what the waterfall model, and I think before Agile, we can say like in the around in the 19th, I think in the 90s, not 90, yeah, in 90s, I think most of the projects are in the waterfall model. That is, they need to do the sequential process, and they need to wait one phase should be completed in order to move to the next phase. But in 20s, I mean, from the year of 2000s, I think most of the companies have moved into the Agile. So now we will see uh, in detail about waterfall, and we'll try to complete the waterfall on the Agile model so that let us take one sample project. Say, for example, we have the requirement from the client. Yeah, so let it say like we have a project which is intranet development, yeah, intranet portal. So the business wants to have an intranet portal for their organization. Intranet portal for organization, or you can say internet portal for company. Okay, so now we will see here first. Let us take the requirements part. So what will be, we will just assume like what will be the requirements here, like so first thing like whether it is an Windows or web application, and then we will see what are the features that are required for this intranet portal. So we will ask the client or the business to share the requirements. So here, so first we uh, need to see all his details in the portal, intranet portal. So in this, let us say we have the LMS, which is the leave management system, should be implemented in this portal. And we have the HRM, like we will be having the human resource module, and so that this will be accessible to HRs and the recruitment team, the recruiters. And then we'll have the say EMS, which is expense management system. And then, sorry, Yeah, which is here we have the EMS, right? So it will be expense management system. And then they need to have the reports. They need to have the reports module so that they want to see the payroll generated reports and everything. So these are the requirements that what I have received from the client. So it should be an web application and should also support for mobile web application, also support for mobile app. So that's it, mobile app. So here in the mobile app, like it should support both Android and iOS. So these are the set of requirements that what I have received for the client requirement, which is intranet portal. And now say what is the model that we need to choose for this development of this particular application. Say now if I okay, so now let us see what will happen like if we go for the waterfall model, and then what it should happen if we choose for the if we go for the agile model. Okay, so first we will see waterfall model. So as discussed, so in the waterfall model, we need to have the phase will be the requirements phase. So here let us see phase one is the requirements phase. So now here let us assume like the BA started working on the requirements. So okay, so now as a BA started on the working on the requirements, so he has started related to the requirements on web application like web app, comma mobile app development, mobile app. And so here the BS started working on the requirements for the web application and the mobile app. And then after completing this, he will be moving into the whatever the employees that they want to see. So first they need to, once the employee log in into the intranet portal, they need to see the dashboard. So we need to have a dashboard design. So what in dashboard, what the information that it should display the all the employee related information like his leaves, comma, whatever the expenses that he went and like traveling expenses, or if they have moved to any other place. So whatever they have put the expenses, all the related things will be outside, and then their payroll or payroll structure, and then pay slips. What else we can do here? Let us close it here. So, so now in the phase one, in the requirement phase, the first one is this is the first requirements, and then this one, yeah, sorry, not this one. Let's put this way here, like we have started working on the requirements for the application, whether it is web, and then it should also for the mobile app. And then he moves to the, once the user login into the web application, then he should able to see the dashboard. So now we have the requirements for the dashboard, like what is the information, employee information that need to be displayed in the dashboard. And now say the third requirement phase is related to the LMS. So which is right, like the leave management system. So here what it should happen. So employee, I'll just put it, employee should be able to create leave request, and then should be able to see his available leave types. So we will see leave type here, and then leave balance. And then we will say like history or history. So now we got the requirements from the client for the LMS leave management system. So where we have employee should be able to create the leave request in the intranet portal when he go to the click on the LMS module in the application. So when you click on the LMS module, he should be able to create a new leave request. And then in the new when creating a leave request, he should be able to select the what is the leave type that he is applying, whether it is a casual leave, sick leave, or any earned leave. And then he should give all the details, the leave start date, end date, and then we will also maintain the leave balance, and then we will have the history. So these are the requirements that what I have received from the client. This is for the LMS. And say the second one is say HRM. So as it is related to the HR, so here they will be having the uh, let me we'll have the payroll generation, and then we will also be a bank account details. And then what else we can, yeah, in this also we will be covering the recruitment as well, recruitment details, any new recruitments. So let us see like these are the requirements that what I have received from the client when I started working on the project, which and the project is in waterfall model. So now, say the project is started on the date like say 17th October, and now it's almost you have worked around 2 months with the client in order to complete the requirements phase. Say let us see October, November. So you have completed the requirements phase in the month of something 21st, 17th December. Okay. So now if someone from the high level management, or if you want to give the status of the projects, say your delivery manager will be asking like in the high level meetings, so what is the status of the project intranet portal that what we are working. So he will be saying like from 17th October, say 17th October, he will update the project status as in requirement phase, and say now it is 18 November, and then we have 20th December. So if you see here, as I mentioned, like my requirements are completed at the date of 17th December. So when the client asked about the status of the project, so my delivery manager or the project manager is going to update the status of the project as still in requirements phase. And then let us assume it is 10th December. Here also you will be saying like it is in requirements phase. Okay. S- s- So I think in another 1 minute, the call is going to disconnect. Please try to log in with the same link here because we will discuss the same scenario how we are going to implement in the agile process. So I hope that everyone is clear till now with whatever the topics we have discussed. We discussed just started with the SDLC life cycle, and we have gone across to the 4 different phases in the SDLC software development lifecycle. So these are the 4 different phases that what we have, and we see what are the activities that are going to happen in each phase. And in order to understand the different models, like we have waterfall model and then the agile model. So now we have chosen one example, sample like the project as an intranet portal development, and we have collected the excuse me, we have collected the requirements here from the business, and we have mentioned all the requirements at the high level. And then we have chosen, like for example, we thought like we this project need to implement in the waterfall model. So in the waterfall model, what we need to do, like phase is the requirement phase.